fashionable way of saying that you're a businessman. For example, let's say if I'm performing, okay, let's say if I'm a bar dancer, alright, and I go into the public and say I'm a bar dancer, they'll say, oh, he's a bar dancer. But if I say I'm a performer, he'll say, oh yes, he's a performer. So it's something like that. If I say I'm a businessman, he'll say, okay, I'm a businessman. But if I say that I'm an entrepreneur, he'll be like, oh, it's a fashionable word. It's like, it makes it crisp. It makes it crisp. That okay, he's an entrepreneur. So.
And you know, you have, I feel, you know, there's a different kind of passion, you know, that makes you different from a businessman. I mean, that is because you have a passion, you have a base that, okay, me being an entrepreneur, I have to do it on this baseline. I have a base, I have a passion, I have a motto. You know, because businessman actually just, you know, do it, okay, ye bhi karna hai, wo bhi karna hai. Just, it's like, it's more of money making only. Okay, but here it is more about what you love.
Father is a businessman, he's an exporter, and he works in textiles as well as commodity export.
Same here, yeah.
Graduation, I'm still continuing in it. I'm in my final year from LD College of Engineering, Ahmedabad itself.
And I'm a graphic designer from Arena Animation.
Frankly, I mean, I guess both of our parents, they were very supportive, like throughout our journey. Yes, we made sure that we are not asking for any financial help from them, because if asked, obviously they would have supported us like with anything we wanted. But it was more of that we wanted that we did it from our end, like sole proprietorship, or say sole ownership as we call it.
Because you know, before starting this, we knew that any kind of work needs a seeding investment, which we call. Okay, so for that we actually worked in different kind of fields, and then we saved money to start up this. That is what you know. So we didn't face any problem in terms of you know, getting into a business of like an entrepreneur thing from family side. In fact, they were very supportive throughout the journey. Yeah, and even now, we actually didn't thought of, when we started off, it was just more of doing out of love. There was no plan. There was no plan of doing of being an entrepreneur actually. But eventually, when we actually came down to that path, we found later that okay, we are already an entrepreneur, because it's like we started off talking about the comics. We started off doing it out of love. Okay, it's fun. Why not environment comics? And then later on, you know, we developed. Okay, we can, you know, probably have a social entrepreneur kind of thing to the same thing. So, yeah.
Back in 2011, we launched off with Samaddas into comic strips earlier, and those were just small comic strips which we used to make, just one column, as you see Dilton or say Calvin and Hobbes and all those things. But those were basically focused on environment. And then we tied up with Times of India NIE, that is the newspaper in education edition, which goes to schools all across India. And we started reaching almost around 30,000, 50,000 schools all across India through those strips. Like every week we used to give it to NIE, they used to publish it. And then later on, we formed a company that is known as the ECOS, which now runs the Sintucis 3D comic book. We have separated from Times of India. We're no longer with them. We do not work with them. But yes, now we have our own publication company, that is the ECOS, and under that we manufacture 3D comic books, which is again focused on environment, which again helps in environmental education, and we are trying to tie up with schools, going to many other schools all across India. That is the thing which our target is.
The story may be funny. It's funny. Okay, we were probably we didn't plan for anything like this. We were studying, you know, college time. We used to study together. Okay, alag subject hai, to bhi kya hua? We study together. That was a scenario, and we actually took a break from just normal, like, you know, you study and you take a break from studies, and then suddenly we started, you know, doodling. And then we thought, okay, why not, why comics only, like, you know, Superman, Batman, why comics that have to have a story? Why not a comic that is about us surroundings, which already has a story? So, and you know, that is how we came up with this comics, and we gelled together, and then we thought of, okay, because initially it wasn't like we have to make a big company of comics. It was just out of love. So, you know, we thought if we start up something, it may land somewhere really nice. So it's all about starting something new and then just let it go. It will go somewhere good. With that thought, we started up with the comic.
The first and the basic obstacle was financial aid. like anything which you require. Say for example, for the 3D comic books, if you got to go for printing, you have to pay. If you got to go for 3D glasses, you have to pay. If you got to go for packaging, you have to pay. Anything for that matter. And as I said earlier, that we didn't ask for our we didn't go for the parent thing. Like we didn't ask them to pay us and then we do it. So it was more of like we have to make it ourselves. Either we save it, either we do it from some other ventures which we do, and then we bring the money here. So that was the biggest obstacle, and I guess we are running through that again. Like obviously we are in the startup phase, so we have to manage with the financials. That is the biggest obstacle. And apart from that,
people feel comics is a challenge in India. The biggest thing, I mean, are a lot of people we get wherein they feel that, okay, why comics? Why do you feel 10 years down the line this thing would take you far in terms of a company kind of thing? But a lot of people think that, but we don't, because the thing is that it's not only comics. It is about educating through comics. So that obstacle we now and then we usually face in terms of that may even people try to demotivate by saying such stuff, but it really doesn't matter, because we feel it does have a good kind of scope.
Like a car cannot run without fuel, so it is exactly as you said, it is a fuel for an entrepreneur. So passion is something like which will obviously drive you back to your track. Like let's say if I'm making comics, and if I try to shift from it, if I have the passion for comics, obviously I'll again come back to the comics. Okay, and a vision is obviously necessary, because 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line, if we do not foresee ourselves as something or someone, then how will we work for that? Like if I'm thinking that okay, 5 years down the line I'll be having a small office doing something, so that won't work. If I'm thinking big, then and then only I'll work for that. So it is.
So I think passion is important to have a vision. We can make it that way. Well, talking about like proper comics, our vision, target and motto is to reach, there are about 20 lakh schools, registered schools in India. We see at least covering 10 lakh of them.
It's more of like, as a kid knows a Superman or a Batman comic in India, they should know Sintucis.
Sintuman.
In the same way, like they should know that what exactly Sintucis is.
And be happy with it. It's not about just, because we never mention in our comics that it is about environment. Okay, because the moment we say it is about environment, you do not read it. So we wish to, we take this thing 10 years down the line to more than 10 lakh schools all over India.
1 year, I guess. Yeah, 1 year was the time. Like we started with it last year. Thought of it coming up with a comic book or something. Then we
brainstormed it and
we changed everything. And then later on, we thought that okay, let's come up with something which is foldable, which is in 3D. So that at the end of the day, you're not wasting paper by throwing off the book. Rather than that, you're rather putting up a poster on your wall, and 3D, which will actually make the environment thing, suppress the environment thing, and the kid can actually enjoy the 3D to learn about environment. That is what.
See, the thing is that our comics, it may be purely commercial, but yes, that's a USP. Our USP is that we have kept the price the lowest. Who gets a 3D movie ticket or a 3D book, lesser than 50 bucks? No one. We offer it at 30, 200. We do not mention those things. But what we see is that if I'm a kid of a lower middle class family, but I wish to see a 3D movie, which I cannot, because I cannot afford it. But just when I remove that 1 0, and if I get a 3D comic book, that too foldable, which I can enjoy in the entire year, why not? I can take it. Exactly. That is the thing that is the only reason which made us keep, and that is the only reason which keeps us in the market with those competitors who are more than 50 years old.
Well, externally, like, yes, obviously there are media and everything, like social media, of course, and we have,
we do have a post office, PO box, wherein we get letters. We have already started. That's a nice stuff. We just got 2 letters from 2 lovely kids from Ahmedabad saying that one was talking about, okay, you should mention more stuff about environment, because we are not, as you mentioned, that the moment kid read the comic, they tend to know it's about environment. It's not like that. It's about, we talk about vegetarian food, just an example between two friends who are fighting over vegetarian food and non-vegetarian food. So the kid does not know, okay, that they are actually talking about environment or something. So, and the other kid, he was really happy with again that, okay, he's getting such kind of stuff in India which you usually don't get in India, because it's usually the Western that comes down to India. So that is the external thing. Internally, apart from us, we do have some interns working for us. So we probably have a brainstorming session after the print goes. So I mean, before the final print. So we do some brainstorming, and that is internals. Plus our family, the most supportive. The most supportive family one can ever have. They keep a check on us that, okay, this is good, this is bad, you should mention this, you should not mention this. So that is how we do. I think constructive criticism is, you know, I feel it's upon you how you make the deconstructive criticism into a constructive criticism. That is what happens, because there are a lot of people who may, you know, give a very demotivating or deconstructive criticism that may actually let you down like so much that you stop working. But it is about you. What we rather do is the one who criticizes our product or our comics, the more we sit with them the most, because they are the ones, they are those percentage of the public or the market who, if we, you know, if we sit with them and know their problems, we make our product better. So we sit with our critics more than, you know, the people who just Limca.
The Limca Book of Records. I mean, we were registered into it,
and we knew after 6 months.
Yeah.
We came to know through someone else that you are into Limca. We weren't.
We got a call from some other book, record book, saying that we want to register your Samajhdar Sintu thing. Like, we used to name it as Samajhdar Sintu back then. Yeah. So they said that we want to register it, and I was like, who gave your reference? So they said, your name is in the Limca Book of Records. And we were like, are you serious? And then we just went to Crossword, rushed through it, and we got the books and then checked it all. And then we found that, okay, we have our name.
And then we got a certificate.
Environment, but yes, the kid should obviously find it interesting. That is the first thing, because if he or she finds it interesting, then and then only he'll be reading it. So that is what, like, they should feel that, okay, these comics are interesting, and that is the mark which we will like to keep in each and everyone's market review. What we do is, basically, when we start off, like, let's say when we were launching the 3D one, the first edition of our Sintucis, we got a rough copy printed out of it, and then we went, like, sitting in a cafe, we were going to kids and all, asking them that, do you like this, do you like this? So a random market review of some 100 odd people, that gives us an idea that, okay, some points, these are the points we need to mend, these are the points which are good. That gives a rough market review, and then obviously friends and family are always there.
Product and not a service, because usually talking about entrepreneur, you do have service based also, right? So when you have a service thing, you actually cannot have a market review before going into the market. But you know, it's always a plus thing to have a market review, in the sense of sharing the idea or sharing, because the more you share, the more you get to know that people are interested or not. Plus, the more you share with age groups, even if that is not your market, and if that age group is, you know, shows a certain kind of interest, or are not interested also, you tend to know a lot of things other than, you know, so you get to know a lot. So, work smart, then working hard.
Okay.
I think it's other way around, because, you know, people now in India, I feel every nukkad has this thinking, you know, you should have a woman entrepreneurship club or something. So people are supporting so much. So I feel it is the woman now who has to act, because people are acting a lot for them. So if the woman doesn't act now, it is all waste. So I have the other way around. I feel the scenario is really other way around. Now it is the girls who have to come down and work, rather than just asking the public to let them go, because that part has been done by the public.
Okay. Well, yes, we do think so. I guess around 1 hour ago, we were talking about the same thing, that like, probably it is in the development phase, and budding entrepreneurs, they are either, let's say, said that, okay, you are doing something new, what chota kaam hai, leave it, chhod do, something like that, or probably they are rather said that finance कैसे manage करोगे, तुम क्या कर सकते हो, and all those things. Like these are the reviews which usually budding entrepreneurs get. If in case the government or the society helps them in developing it, yes, probably we can have a more number, like many more number of entrepreneurs.
Talking about fight. You have to fight. I mean, to stay alive in the market, fight and fight till the end, so that you know you. When you look back, you actually feel proud on yourself rather than people feeling proud on you. That okay, मैं ये लड़ मर के आ गया यहाँ तक.
Exactly. Then it doesn't matter whether you're passing or failing. What matters is that you gave your best.
Yeah.
Like let's say if you are struggling and then you fail, then okay, at the end of the day you will be having some respect in your eyes, like for yourself, saying that okay, I did it, but then no matter what, even if I fail, I gave my best. So that is the thing. Fight is necessary.